When Ruben Gallego presses Kevin Warsh, the conversation starts off technical meeting schedules, press conferences, transparency at the Federal Reserve. Those questions matter more than they might seem.
Senator Gallego.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
How are you?
In a 2019 interview with Bloomberg, you said monetary policy is important not for the decision it makes, but for reasons it gives for the explanations. Mr. Warsh, the Federal Open Market Committees, or that the Fed sets U.S. monetary policy through interest rate decisions at those meetings. Do you commit to maintaining the current practice of holding a meeting at least once every 8 weeks, yes or no?
Senator, by statute, as we talked about in your office, I believe the statute requires a minimum of 4 meetings, but 4 is not enough. So having more meetings than that is appropriate. But I've not even begun to look at the meeting schedules for 2027 and beyond, of course, subject to confirmation.
Okay. So then do you commit to holding a press conference at least on the day of the FOMC meetings?
Senator, right now press conferences are held periodically. If you ask me my true personal opinion, right now Fed chairs and other central bankers around the FOMC, they speak quite frequently. There is no lack of transparency. But I would say this, I think truth-seeking is more important than repetition. And if one has a press conference, one wants to deliver some important news.
Perfect.
So
and to follow up on that, then would you commit to taking questions at those press conferences?
If a press conference were held, I think it would be incumbent to hear what the reporters of the day had in mind.
Thank you. I'm glad, our personal meeting regarding this was very enlightening. Earlier today, you said to Senator Kennedy that President Trump never demanded you to cut interest rates in your job interview. Is that your sworn testimony?
That is, Senator.
Okay. Well, someone here is lying then, because it's either you or President Trump, because in an interview with the Wall Street Journal of December 12th, President Trump confirmed that he pressed you on your commitment to support interest rates cuts. And I quote, "During a 45-minute meeting with Warsh on Wednesday at the White House, the president pressed Warsh on whether he could trust him to support interest rate cuts if he were chosen to lead the central bank. According to people familiar with the meeting, Trump in the general interview confirmed that, repeating, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter for the record the Wall Street Journal article, December 12th. Trump says he's leaning towards Warsh or has it to lead the Fed." So, this brings up an issue of credibility at this point. Who's lying here? Is it you or the president? Because the president confirmed that he did ask you to cut interest rates.
Senator, there's, of course, a third alternative. You cite a couple of reporters for a leading financial newspaper. I recall reading that story at the time.
Did you issue a correction?
I think those reporters either need better sources or better journalist standards.
Did you ask for correction?
There are things in the newspaper, Senator, I see all the time that don't strike my ear as correct.
So is, in your opinion, that the president then is lying when he said he did not ask you?
I can only repeat to you, Senator, what I said to several of your colleagues.
So you did not. You right now, under sworn testimony, are saying just to right now that the president of the United States in that job interview did not ask you to cut interest rates.
The president never asked me to commit to interest rate cuts at any particular meeting over the period of my tenure at the Fed. He didn't ask for it. He didn't demand it. He didn't require it, and nor would I have ever done so.
So if these reporters come back and decide to do another follow-up on this and they confirm what they heard, what will your response be?
Well, my response would be what I suggested to you a few moments ago. As I read that story in real time, I remember thinking they either need better journalistic standards or better sources.
So, here's my problem, Mr. Chair and colleagues. And Mr. Warsh, I think you're incredibly qualified. But a lot of us are actually worried about the integrity of the Federal Reserve. We're worried about what this means for the economic markets, and we're worried about what this means for inflation. We're worried about your independence, and now we're hearing direct contradictions whether or not you were directly asked by the president to cut interest rates, and you're saying no, and he's saying yes. And I think for a lot of us, there's a question now of credibility. And I think there's a real reason why many of us are not voting no. As a matter of fact, until you verbally spoke to Mr. Kennedy and answered his question that he did not the president did not ask you to cut interest rates, this was not even going to be brought up. So there's definitely right now a true question about who is lying here. It's either you or it's the president. I yield back.
Senator, if I might respond?
Certainly.
Thank you. I take my responsibility to be an independent leader of the Federal Reserve very seriously, if confirmed by this body. I take the integrity of the office and my personal integrity very seriously. And I stand by every word I said. The president never asked me to commit to any such thing, nor would I ever do so.
The Fed's communication strategy isn't just about informing the public, it directly shapes markets. Investors, businesses, and even governments react not only to what the Fed does, but how clearly and consistently it explains those decisions. That's why Gallego is probing commitments he's testing, whether Warsh would maintain predictability in an institution where uncertainty can trigger real economic consequences.